Now, Crystal Palace are increasingly worried Oliver Glasner will run his contract down in the summer. Our football correspondent Rob Dorset across this story for us. So, Rob, what can you tell us about this?
Well, look, I think it's pretty clear that Oliver Glasner has done an extraordinary job at Selhurst Park since he took over in February last year. But Palace are now stepping up their contingency planning, is how it's been described to me, in case and in the fear that Oliver Glasner will not sign an extension to his contract, which is due to expire next summer. Glasner hasn't communicated with the club yet whether he wants to sit down and have those talks and whether he's prepared to consider an extension. It's pretty clear he's keeping his options open. As far as the club's bosses are concerned, those talks, those avenues of communication remain open. But this is the key for me. A number of well-placed sources that I've been speaking to have told us that there is an increasing expectation that he will let his contract expire and that he will leave Selhurst Park in the summer. We've been told that a number of top clubs in the Premier League and Europe are monitoring his availability. Now, look, we shouldn't overplay the fact that there's some contingency planning going in here. Every club does that in case they need to change their manager for whatever reason, whether that's a sacking or whether he gets poached by somebody else or whatever it might be. And it's clear that Glasner's future remains uncommitted right now. So you'd expect Crystal Palace to look at their options and consider their options. But I've been told that they've now drawn up a short list of possible candidates for him. One name that I've been told from a source on that shortlist is the Getafe boss Jose Bordalas. But there's another source that's told us that might not be the case. So there's a little bit of uncertainty there right now, but it's pretty clear that the kind of speculation and doubt over Oliver Glasner's future at Selhurst Park is only going to increase in the remaining 6 months he's got at the club.
You mentioned that he's being monitored by other clubs. Where might he end up potentially? I
think there's an awful lot of options for Oliver Glasner, which is why he's keeping his options open now. His stock has risen incredibly high since he joined in February last year. You've got to remember, when he joined, Palace were 15th in the table. They were on the edge of a relegation battle, in truth, and he ended up getting them to 10th in the Premier League last season. Of course, he had that historic FA Cup final victory over Manchester City as well. It's Palace's first ever major trophy, and that earned them European football as well. So he's been one of Crystal Palace's most successful managers in a generation, in truth. And that level of success with the resources that he had has brought him to the attention of a lot of big clubs in the Premier League and in Europe. We've heard Tottenham, we've heard Chelsea, we've heard Manchester United linked with an interest in Glasner in the press. Now, we don't know whether any potential positions are available in those three clubs. They're not right now. But the fact that that calibre of club is being linked with Glasner, I think, tells you where he's being liked. I'm told there's some big clubs in Europe that are interested in him as well. But as things stand, no formal talks over a new deal, no sign that Glasner wants to sit down and hold those talks, no appetite, supposedly, from Glasner right now that he wants to extend his contract at Crystal Palace. And so that is giving the Palace bosses some concerns. And you have to say, as things stand right now, despite some pretty stringent attempts from Palace to keep him, it does look likely that he may well leave in the summer, unless something changes, Bella.